Tonight, we're stepping away from skateboarding history for one episode to do some skateboarding journalism. I know I made fun of those stupid top 10 lists you find on YouTube last episode, and I thought it'd be fun to try to make one interesting and mix it with Gonzo journalism, because why not? Tonight, this is going to be the top 10 do's and don'ts of a Barcelona skate trip on a working class budget. I'm sure you know a local pro or some kid that studied abroad for a couple years that knows the city like the back of their hand. That's not what this video is about. This is to shed a little bit of light if you save up the money to go to skateboarding's Mecca. I believe skateboarding is a religion, and you need to praise to the skate gods by doing three things: skate San Francisco, skate a backyard swimming pool, skate Barcelona. We're starting with a quote from Hunter S. Thompson. Journalism is not a profession or a trade. It is a cheap catch-all for fuck-offs and misfits, a false doorway to the backside of life, a filthy, piss-ridden little hole nailed off by the building inspector, but just deep enough for a wino to curl up from the sidewalk and masturbate like a chimp in a zoo cage. One of the most brilliant aspects of Hunter S. Thompson was not his drug use, but it was the fact that he recognized that journalism cannot be unbiased. So instead, he inserted himself into the story, not only making it more interesting, but able to shed more light on the truths he wanted to show.
Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck!
Number 10, do not drink the street beers. Let's set the scene here. You just got to Barcelona. You put your shit down where you're saying. You skated down the street and you found Macba. You do a couple mobbed switch illusion flips. You do a fakey frontside nose grind on the ledge. And then you say, wow, I'm parched. I want a beer. And before you even get up to walk down to the bodega, one of these entrepreneurial immigrants walks up to you with a cold six-pack and says €1. You're not going to pass down that beer, are you? No, you're going to drink that shit. It's going to save you the trip to the bodega. But there's an issue with this beer. Ask yourself, how do these entrepreneurial immigrants with no refrigerators keep this beer cold while they're waiting for prospective buyers? The answer is they stash it in the sewer system. So if you want piss and shit and needles and whatever else is in the Barcelona sewer system, drink that excessively cheap beer they sell everywhere around town. They'll have a white bag of San Miguel or Estrella. They'll try to sell it to you at the beach, at the ledge spot, at the bank spot, at Macba, wherever. Try to avoid these beers. I've had several of those. My first 2 trips there, I didn't know they were stashing in the plumbing. I didn't catch any weird diseases, but I'm just saying the more you know about how people refrigerate things without refrigeration is better for you. Number 9, do not stay in the Gothic or El Reval. It's going to be very tantalizing to stay there in the city center. When you look at a map, you're going to say, I want to be right there in the thick of everything. But there's 2 reasons why I'd recommend not staying in that area. Number 1 is very self-explanatory. You're not that close to that many spots. You've got a couple spots. You could skate down to the water, skate a couple spots by the marina, or you could skate the Universidad ledges, Parallel, or Macba. But I think all the really good spots and those plazas you dream of when you watch videos of Spanish skating in the Barcelona area are a little bit more outside of town. Now, the second reason to not stay there, and this is much, much more fear and loathing, is because of the party scene down there. It is a fucking whirlwind. I remember the first time I was there solo, I stayed in this hostel in El Reval, and on my last night, I went drinking with this Irish guy until I realized he had been popping Ritalin all night, and he was odd. He must have been popping a down or two because he was not up at all. Maybe he needed it. I don't know. But I got the fuck out of there. I met these 2 Scandinavian chicks at the hostel. They wanted to go party. I was like, let's go party. So first bar, they start snorting a white substance that I find out very quickly is ketamine. Then they're all these beta male orbiter friends that they have start showing up and ripping lines with them. And I think what made me weirded out was the fact that they still could talk totally normal, still have the same exact gumption with how they spoke after snorting all this ketamine. It just weirded me out. I continued to party with these chicks. I drank and smoked weed. They did ketamine. I figured being with some chicks will attract more chicks. Couldn't be farther from the truth. It just attracted this whole litany, this whole army of weird K-hole people. We eventually got down to the beach. All of them are around this bonfire in the K-hole. I want to get the fuck away from this K-hole action, and then I want to go this way, but then over this way is all these bros and chicks lined up to go to Ibiza, arguably even more annoying people than the K-hole people around the fire pit. So I walk diagonally all the way to some metro station. It takes me all night to find my hostel. I don't sleep. I get to the Barcelona airport the next morning. I see David Hasselhoff. That pisses me off more than fucking anything. But anyway, what I'm saying is your location is not the best here. But more importantly, the accoutrements, the party favors, are severely standing in the way of you getting any skating done from about 5 p.m. until the next a.m. So just avoid the Gothic and El Raval. It's beautiful. It's fun to walk these tight streets. It's fun to hear all these British footballers singing their songs and then crying drunk when their team loses. But you don't need to stay there. I think you're better off staying on the outskirts of town where there's actually more spots and you have just as easy access to the metro. I think there's a litany of spots in between the airport and Barcelona, and then some up in the hills. And then my favorite spots, and like the Bezos bump, were actually up in Badalona, just a little bit north of Barcelona up the beach. Way less people. There's no entrepreneurs trying to sell you sewer beers, and you can just let go and have fun.
Felt good. Dude, that was so clean.
Number 8, and this is especially for people traveling from the Western Hemisphere, do optimize your flight options. Now, I remember when I went in 2018 and 2019, I had this really good deal I had found on Norwegian Airlines where it was like $350 round trip nonstop from Oakland straight into Barcelona and back. That was the best. I remember in 2019, I flew from Salt Lake, where I was living, to Oakland backwards just to fly all the way across the pond because it was cheaper. Their planes were the newest. It was the fucking shit. I don't know if they still have that stuff going on post-COVID. I have not been back to Europe. Well, I went for my honeymoon in 2022, but I haven't been on a skate trip back to Europe since 2019. So all I'm saying is that when you look for flights, do not pigeonhole yourself. If you're coming from Canada, Mexico, America, anywhere in South America, just search an entire Western Hemisphere to Europe. I remember I've flown out of Canada before. I've flown out of JFK. It just, all that matters is that you're saving money on these flights. Who cares if you're on that plane for 36 hours? Find the cheapest route out of America into Barcelona and then figure out a plane to get you to that cheap route. Simple, easy enough. Just save money where you can on the flight. Number 7, do stay in a hostel if you have a small crew or you're solo. I think last time I was there, or maybe it was 2018, Airbnb was illegal in the city, so renting any sort of property like that just was difficult and took way too much work. Then you've got hotels, way better experience than Airbnbs these days, a little too expensive for my taste, not gritty and cheap enough and raw enough at all. So I would stay in a hostel. 1, you get to meet people. 2, you get a way cheaper sleep. You get a way cheaper night of sleep. Number 6, do optimize your modes of transportation. You shouldn't have to take a taxi cab the whole time you're there. You shouldn't have to take a fucking Uber the whole time you're there. I've rented bikes, I've skated the streets, and I've taken the metro. That was all I felt like I needed. Unless you want to go to some very, very far away spots, then I don't know. Maybe you'll have to get a car or you'll have to pay for an Uber. Personally, I thought there was enough spots and enough fun shit to skate just outside the door or off the metro stations that should be no problem. But open up your eyes to the bike. The ones I rented, you could put the board on the handlebars. It had a cup holder for a beer. Make sure it's not a sewer beer. And you're on your merry way. You're covering way more ground. You don't have to worry about having shitty bike lanes like America. It's a very bike-friendly city. And then, of course, skate as much as you can. But after day 3 or 4, if you're over the age of 28 or 29, your legs are going to start hurting. And you're going to love me for recognizing to get that bike and optimize your modes of transport.
Joe Moban.
Number 5, do not hit the strip clubs. I've known this since the first time I was there. Somebody gave me the heads up that the strip clubs aren't really strip clubs. They're more like sex trafficking places to steal your money. Now, with that, I do have a story I have to tell you that did happen to my brother and my buddy Dylan and I. We were way too wasted one night. I do remember it. I was the one that was on call for watching everybody. I drank a little bit less. We were posing with photos with the drug dealers because we didn't want to buy any fucking drugs from these people. And then we hopped in a cab, and my buddy Dylan goes, take us to the strip club. Before my brother and I could get on his case, we're already at a strip club. We get thrown out of the car. They take us inside, and the first thing they do is take our debit cards away and sit us on the couch with all these trafficked women from Russia and Eastern Europe. It was disgusting. It was terrible. Luckily, my boy Dylan was paying $35 for our drinks at the time. That was the going cost, as they made us walk over to the ATM and they put the card in for us and they pushed the buttons for us. Very, very odd scene. I don't respect anything they're doing in an establishment like that. Nor do I even like regular titty bars. That shit, if I wanted to throw money at daddy issues, I'd just get on Tinder. It's so much easier. But do not fall for the strip club thing. Do fall for the gambling joints though. If you like to gamble, you like to play a little roulette or craps, I did have fun doing that in Barcelona, so definitely check that out. Number 4 is do visit the real skate bars. This one's tricky. The first time I went out there, 2014, my tour guide told me about this punk skater bar called Nevermind, and it was pretty sick. They have like this poured bowl inside. You can skate and drink at the same time. But to me, it reminded me of skate bars in Oakland, where it's really just a bunch of hipsters that don't skate and chicks that want to hook up with skaters, which that's all cool if that's what you're trying to do. But it wasn't an actual skate bar. Then on my second trip, we kept seeing this place wandering around the Gothic called Bar Manolo, but the motherfucker was never open except for one random Tuesday night. We go in there, all the screens, every TV is playing legitimate local skate videos, skating their local spots. Everybody has ripped up spots on their shoes in the right positions, and there are none of those hipster pro-ho skater chicks that don't skate but just want to sleep with skaters. It was awesome. It was cheap beer. You get to watch skating, you get to talk with people about skating. I highly recommend Bar Manolo, and if there's any other bars that have popped up since I was last there, like Bar Manolo, please throw that in the comments so we can point people in the right direction. Number 3, do not use a spot map for the whole time. I used a spot map to roughly push us in certain directions, but for the most part, I just went free for all because I think you lose the beauty of street skating when you're just going to spots on the map and not getting lost. So maybe, hey, I want to check out those brick banks with the concrete edges that Silas Baxter Neal overcrooked in a line. So on your way there, I recommend looking at everything around you because there's fucking spots everywhere. Even the famous spots, you go around the corner, there's more spots. This is Barcelona. This is skateboarding Mecca. Use your mind to think outside the box and find the avenues and the places that are lesser seen by other people. Find the piss-ridden, dirty corner in some random part of some plaza and skate that shit. Number 2. Take the train to the Hillbomb spot. I'm not going to drop the metro station or the mountain you can sit on and drink beer and look at the city from, but you must check this out in your adventure. It is one of the sickest things I've ever seen in Barcelona. It was just a cool vibe. My buddy Peter Knobloch actually moved out there a couple years ago. I think he's married to a Spanish chick, and he gave me and my buddy Morgan the heads up on this spot. It was one of the last metro stations on a certain line. You hike up this mountain, and then you're up on this beautiful view where you can see the whole city, you can see the ocean. It's just gorgeous. But that's not the whole thing. You're drinking beer, smoking spliffs up there, but it's when you go to leave, you have this insane hill bomb that I can only compare to something like San Francisco, but it seemed like it went on for 20 minutes all the way back down to the metro station. Make sure to test yourself, have 5 or 6 beers, see if you can bomb the hill. Maybe you cannot. Have a burning spliff, see if it goes out. I don't know. But I think Barcelona, the thing that slept on for me after going there was how many sick-ass hill bombs you can find there. It is absolutely amazing. Better ground than San Francisco, way less traffic, easier to get away with everything. Go find that metro station, sit on the hill and drink beer, and skate down it. It is such a good time.
Cerveza, €1, €1, 150, whatever the amount is. That is technically illegal. It's not technically a legal business for them to be selling beer that way. And to hide it, they will usually put the beer like in the manholes, the like sewage. I don't know how to describe it.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
For number 1, we're coming back around to number 10. Do drink that sewer beer. If you're worried about whatever toxins and chemicals are in the sewer system, then you shouldn't be skating. I can't tell you how many times I've cut myself up in the sketchiest parts of town. It's got inside my blood and I'm still alive. So if you're going to go skate the streets and go get dirty out there and grimy, that beer stashed in the sewer should be the least of your worries. Drink a whole 6er out of the sewer and do it for the boys. That's it. Go on a trip with your buddies. or go by yourself, go skate Barcelona, praise to the skate gods, and have a good fucking time.